Greetings to you, cherished viewers. Once again, welcome to Studio Stu TV. Yes, this is VAR Uncovered. This be the program where they speak your mind, where they speak your heart. Anything concerning Ghanaian football, Ghanaian players abroad, yes, and Ghanaian football as a whole. I am your uncle, Grandmaster, and I'm about to blow your mind with some finding and some history concerning Ghanaian football and why I feel Ghanaian football is retrogressing. Stay with me, don't go nowhere. I'll be right back after this commercial break. Welcome back from the commercial break. Make I not talk too much. Make I cast your mind back to Egypt 2009. One of the glorious moments for African football and Ghanaian football as a whole. The FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Egypt 2009. Hosted by an African nation and won by an African nation, Ghana. So I kept asking myself, how do we do this? Time, dedication, and practice. Make I mention the names of one of heroes where they represent Ghana, where they help bring the trophy home. So in the goalpost, Daniel Ajay. Defense, Samuel Nkum. Midfield, Gladson Awako. Defense, Jonathan Mensah. Defense, Daniel Edu. Defense, David Ade. Midfield, Abeku Kwanzaa. Midfield, Emmanuel Ajiman-Bedu. Midfield, Opoku Ajiman. Midfield, Andre Dede Ayew. Forward, Latif Salifu. Defense, Gandhi Dasenu. Midfield, Mohamed Rabiu. Defense, Daniel Opare. Defense, Philip Wampon. Defense, John Benson. Forward, Ransford Osei. Defense, Bright Adai. Forward, Dominic Adeya. Goalkeeper, Joseph Ado. So these are the names of the heroes where they represent we for that very tournament, where they help bring the tournament home. Make we not forget, mention best player of the tournament and the goal king of the tournament, Dominic Bemaba Adia. Yes, he made Mother Ghana very, very proud on that very day in 2009, far away in Egypt. One might ask, so Grandmaster, why did they do this very, very, very video and why this very episode on VAR Uncovered? This be my problem. You notice, say, currently, when it comes to Ghanaian football, I know they understand the trend we do try take now. All of a sudden, all wanna interest be foreign expatriate players. Make we just did it, we no go build anything. But then we go just did it, then we go bring some player from somewhere, say, this be Ghanaian player, a mother from here, a father from here, make we bring them come national team. Why are we in the craze for expatriate players all of a sudden? Why all of a sudden the Ghanaian dream has been forgotten? Why does it look like all of a sudden when academies no have the right to build players, make them jump into the national team? Why is it looking like our under-17s and our under-20s, our under-23s, they look a bit not taken serious? Because this is the current trend now. I don't want to mention any names or I don't want to mention anybody's player's name to make it look like this is an attack. This is not an attack. This is not a revolution, but this is a revelation. I feel, say, currently, we are not doing too well for our younger players because you see, out of the names I mentioned now, just be honest for yourself. The Daniel Ajays, the Samuel Nkums, the Gladson Awakos, the Jonathan Mensahs, the David Ade, Emmanuel Ajiman-Bedu, the Daniel Opare, the Rabius, and the Opoku Ajimans. They all featured for the Blackstars, which was a fantastic feat. Dominic Adeya, yes. If you know be for Suarez, I know say by this name, the folklore of Ghana, if we sing them proper, we're going to talk about Dominic Adeya on that very day. If you know be Luis Suarez in the World Cup, yes, he using hand commot Adeya in header. But then this be my problem. What are we doing for the younger ones in Ghana football? With the likes of Stephen Appiah, Sule Muntari, Emmanuel Ajiman-Bedu, Dede Ayew, all these players, if you remember correctly, they all feature from one of junior sides where we build them into the senior teams. Looked like a fairy tale, well planned. Yes, this was a well-constricted fairy tale waiting to happen. If you build and you build for the future, you reap benefits. Because this very under-20 team where we take go Egypt, it went a long way to help bolster our national team squad. So why are we not going on the same journey? Some few times, you go see, say, we dey build, but all of a sudden, nobody they hear of the players anymore. We go call some youth into one national team, then just like that, we drop them. I don't want to mention any names as they move along, but then you know for yourself how things they move in this country. But my problem be, say, all of a sudden, We know they respect the under-17s. We know they acknowledge the under-20s. We know they acknowledge the under-23s. What we are doing now, we are more focused on the Frefre Kobo, as we locally call it here. I feel say Frefre Kobo at a point in time would help you. But when you come up against well-constructed teams, well-prepared teams, Frefre Kobo won't save you. Because mind you, everybody they come with in own talent on board. Usually, talent alone no they win tournament. You need togetherness. You need some sort of structure. And that be what I feel say the Ghanaian football they lack now. Because if you watch what we do now, we dey wait till tournaments, then we dey scan across Europe and the whole continent. We could look for Ghanaian-born players or Ghanaian-based players in other countries. We could go call them. Sometimes if they look like we dey beg them, make them come play for the national team, which I find appalling. I'm struggling to understand how we are not able to replace players like Sule Muntari, Michael Essien, Stephen Appiah, and even Achiman Bedu. Dedicated players for Ghana football. With the rise of star players like Mohamed Kudus, Fatah Ishawaku, Kamaldeen Suleiman, I feel say like all these projects and all these players, we for concentrate on them because these are easily under 20, under 23 materials. Why is Ghana football not taking the youth football not so serious anymore? Why are we concentrating on bringing expatriate players into our game? Not saying expatriate players won't help our game. But then I feel say we have lost the course. Because now these days, nobody they even feel say make it build anything. If you give some coach under 20, under 17, under 23, then go tournament, then go perform well. But then the next 2-3 years, 1-2 players, only that, then they call come the national team. So what are we doing wrong? This be my question. What are we doing wrong? If you've watched so far, share with me in your comment section what you think Ghana football has to do to keep getting these things right. Because I know they understand the purposes and the usefulness of this tournament. If we go represent, then we no go fit graduate these players into one national team. That be how it feel like sometimes, because we've gone to all this tournament. The quite recent one way at the try remember or make a try call for you be the under 23 AFCON qualify in Morocco 2023. This be the Black Meteor squad list. Danlad Ibrahim, Esu Williams, Dari Aziz Haruna, Randolph Augustine, Aaron Esel, Eugene Frimpong, Opon David, Dominic Insobila, Godfred Pokuwaki, Emmanuel Ajay, Salifu Samari, Samuel Ashikwe, Sylvester Simba, Yusuf Razak, Dede Ishmael, Emmanuel Appel, Suraj Mohammed, Fatah Ishawaku, Felix Afenejan, Daniel Efiri Banier, Alex Opokusafo, Zuberiu Ibrahim, Salim Adams, Emmanuel Essien, Ernest Nuama, Emmanuel Yeboah. Fantastic squad list by all standard. But then my problem be saying, we they gather all these boys in the next 2-3 years as they ripe for Europe, then we forget to integrate them into our national team. What is happening to Ghanaian football? Why do we always repeat these mistakes? We'll build a fantastic youth team. Then when it comes to the time for us to graduate them into our national team, we see expatriate players. We see foreign-based players. Do we always have to go for players who are doing well in Europe? What happens to the one we were building here? The Ghanaian football for some time now has lacked structure. That be why every 1 year, 2 year, we try go bring new coach. That is what is failing Ghanaian football now, because we don't get structure. We have gotten to a point in time where we bring somebody, he can't bring in all ideas. Sometimes the players might play to his will. Sometimes they will play to their will too. So it makes the whole thing look like something will not be well scripted and well documented. If you have people with their own opinion on football, they help. You have to listen to the manager. There has to be a plan. There has to be a structure. There has to be a purpose. When it comes to football, that is how it works these days. You don't expect players to go and play what they know. No. You go talk, say, in this era, we don't have players like Stephen Appiah. We don't have players with knowledge like Lai Kingston. We don't have players with knowledge like Michael Essien, where they go move the ball in the midfield without even the coach having to direct them. Football has changed. Football has evolved. Tactics have changed. We have coaches like Pep Guardiola, bringing in the tiki-taka, retaining the ball when you lose it. We have coaches like Jose Mourinho with his own defensive abilities and plans. What does Ghanaian football represent? What sort of structure are we upholding to? What sort of structure does the Ghanaian football represent? Because I know they understand at all. Sometimes you go just to watch Ghanaian football and you realize that it all depends on individual brilliance. Individual brilliance. That is what has been the mantra of Ghanaian football. We go to a tournament waiting for a player to come out of his shells and carry the team of Ghana. That shouldn't be the plan. I feel that is why we keep failing at this tournament and keep being dumped out of group stages. When we go to tournament, that the whole team shouldn't be on the shoulder of a younger player. The team should be built around each and every single player. Each and every single player has to have a purpose in that very team. Not gather them, go there, and expect Grandmaster to go and outperform everybody so that he will take the team to the final. No! If this is how we plan our national teams, then we are planning to fail. This shouldn't be the mantra at all. We have to have a purpose. We are going to the tournament with this style of play. We are going into this tournament with this set of players having to come out of their shell to raise the banner and the flag of the country high. Not going to the tournament, first match, one player scores, second match, the same player scores again, third match, we are expecting. No, it wouldn't happen. Opponents will draw up tactics against those players or that very player. So we have to start building something genuinely looking into the future. Under 17, under 20, under 23, we have to have a purpose. We have to build. We have to realize that in our minds, in our hearts, the way we have run things in Ghana here for a while now is building up for failure. I don't even want to talk about the pitches in Ghana because the pitches are so not at all. Accra Sports Stadium, not up to code. Kumasi Sports Stadium, sometimes. Just take a good look at the Esipon Stadium now. Take a good look at the pictures I have for you from the CAN 2008 Esipon Stadium and look at the state of it now. What did happen to Ghana football? Who is going to rise up and realize that until we keep names like Felix Afenejan in our minds and we pray for them, we invite them, we have time for them, we realize that with players like this, there will be a future. Names like Ernest Apia Nyama. We realize that projects like this are projects for the future. Kamaldeen Suleiman, another bright prospect for the future. Fatal Ishawaku, we keep them in mind and we keep them in prayers. Mohamed Kudus. We have to keep up with players like this. Not always wait until the 11th hour, then we go looking for expatriate players. The Ghanaian plan and the Ghanaian mindset have to change. We don't have to continuously go into teams or we have to continuously go into tournaments waiting to go and bring expatriate players on board. This be how we've run it for some time now. Continuously we have failed. Mr. OKraku, please get it right. It's difficult. It's not a one-man's job. But the continuous inclusion of the foreign-based players is beginning to take its toll on our national teams. Because, mind you, each and every country and their style of play. So what is the Ghanaian style of play? How does the Ghanaian national teams move? Why do we have to continuously keep building teams and then we wait at the 11th hour to include foreign-based players? Build from home. Build with players who are unknown. Go into tournaments with players who are unknown. Look at how the Ghanaian league is looking now. Who is watching the Ghanaian league? No interest. Because when it comes to the tournaments proper, there is no Ghanaian-based player in there. How do we boost the Ghanaian league? By taking some of these players from the Ghanaian league to the tournaments proper so that they will be recognized. Yes, you see Efriye Bania playing, former players of Accra of Folk, Danlad Ibrahim, Asante Kotoko player. Yes, that's how you sell your league. You don't go into tournament with no single Ghanaian league player. You don't call national team players or you don't call players for AFCON qualifiers. Then there's no single Ghanaian league player. What hurts the most is at most Ghanaian Premier League matches, you see Mr. Chris Hughton present. So is it for pictures or is it to broaden his gallery with nice photos? Sometimes I have to ask myself, what is this man really watching in our stadiums? Why is he in our stands? Is he there for the sake of being the national team coach or for just PR purposes? Because this very Madagascar match we did talk about, there's no single inclusion of a Ghanaian league player. I find myself asking so many questions, but then like the good saying always go, there are more questions than answers. So who is going to rise up and notice that the inclusion of foreign-based players sometimes hurt our national team? I know some of them come and prove a point, but then you have to ask yourself, until when do Ghana have to stop begging players outside to come and play for us? How are we going to continue to beg players to come feature for the national team? Sometimes they make it look like we know the country self we will be serious with one ourselves. You go wait to tournament, then you go to beg other country players, make them can represent for you because in mother or in great-great-great-grandfather or in great-great-great-grandmother be Ghanaian. It no be nice. We should learn to use the under-17, the under-20, the under-23 that we have at our disposal, because that is where we nurture them. That is where we sell to them the future of Ghanaian football. Players who are patriotic, players who have everything to lose, players who want to play for the national team colours. With players where he shine for Europe, where you they go beg and make it can represent for you, it would look like it's a job, not representing his country because he has no ties. On this note, D for Dabeng, a word to a wise is enough. I hope this video meets you in good faith. Don't forget, subscribe, turn the notification button on, and tell a friend to tell a friend that when it comes to talking about Ghanaian league, Ghanaian football, Ghanaian players abroad, VAR Uncovered is the place for you. Remember, don't do anything I wouldn't do. It's just a bad day, not a bad life. Stay blessed.